shouldn't be, put a bunch on, and he was like, wow, that's great. So you see what I mean? He's just pure ability, you know, unbelievable natural ability, speed naturally, you know. And he's also super hungry, and that's the bit I wanted to touch on, is a year ago, this time last year, I was worried for Jorge. I was like, he is not fully focused. He's got a massive opportunity, and if he doesn't really grasp it with both hands, he could lose it. Well, at the end of this year, be out, you know. Really, I was worried about it. You only have to remember back to that time, if you can clearly. He just hadn't had a good year. It was partly, probably mostly caused by that different engine that didn't work, and he never made friends with it. But also, I think he wasn't as focused, you know. He had, like, there was pretty ladies around and partying, and you know what I mean, and he wasn't as fit. And Gino Borsoy came in, I think talked to him, you know, really made him understand that this is a massive opportunity, a really good bike, and he did it. He took grasp with both hands. I saw him training in Andorra, and he was the fittest looking I've ever seen him. He said he is, and then he goes out and does that, and it's all part of, you know, getting your focus together. And it's not just fitness, but it's part of the mental game as well. And what we saw on Sunday come, you know, all the way through this season down, and that's part of it, you know. The Jorge's now the full package minus a little bit experience, but you can see that team that Jorge's in and Jorge learning from their mistakes. They won't make the same ones next year. I think they'll be even stronger.
Yeah, could not agree more, Sam. I think, yeah, Jorge really did understand what he had to do, both mental and physical prep-wise, and he was going to be a genuine World Championship contender. And full kudos to him, full respect to him, because all the graft, all the hard work he put in behind the scenes on the factory Aprilia, still the top man is the Top Gun, leading this session with that 129.253. He's now completed over 80 laps as Maverick Vinales. They're going to need to get some more fuel drums down there, aren't they, for the Aprilia garage?
He's done exactly 3 race distances worth of running now today. 82 laps for Top Gun, who is quickest and looks at this stage, without writing the winter headlines early, looks like he's about to end this final day of running in 2023, or the first official day of 2024, whichever way you want to look at it. That's the fastest rider at this Valencia test. Fabio Quartararo returns to the Yamaha box. Is that essentially the end of the day, of the year for Fabio? Of course, there will be a 15-minute practice start session following the checkered flag here, which, as you can see, top left, comes out in 9 minutes' time. The riders will be able to head out for one last opportunity to put off a practice start before they finally put their bikes away for Christmas.
Only Luca Marini, Maverick Vinales, Frankie Morbidelli and Alex Rins out on circuit. Brad Binder was also circulating, and just a few late laps coming in. I'm sure the track will get pretty busy for the practice start session. Brad Binder has just set the fastest first sector on the factory KTM. He's climbed himself up into 11th place, having got himself back onto that familiar 2023 RC16. He's into the high 129s himself. What have you made of Aprilia this year, Simon? Because obviously last year they were one of the surprise packages, a breakthrough season with Aleix Espargaro winning their first Grand Prix. Huge expectations coming into this year, and there was some great weekends. Aleix Espargaro's double on home turf, expected to be. Let's just follow this, a lap being completed here by Binder. He might be getting a bit disturbed here late on by the Pramac Ducati of Frankie Morbidelli. As a lunge up the inside of the Italian into the final corner. How much time did that cost Binder? Is he going to be knocking Vinales off top spot here late on? No, goes up into 2nd place, so a couple of hundreds faster. I know you spend so much time with Aprilia. We're all big admirers of Paolo Bonora because he's such an open, honest guy, but there must be more than the team's disappointment that Aprilia, in some respects, didn't feel like they really kicked on from last year.
Matt, I'll just run through what I think. As we see Brad still pushing on, I don't think he got held up by that overtake he had to do. He didn't get quite the run. Oh! That is a perfect example of how. That's exactly what I was expecting to happen at this sort of time, Matt. It's dropping in temperature. You know, it's, what is it, almost 5 o'clock, and it's why I was saying before, it's a risk to get out there and push hard. Right-hand side of the tyre, just what we saw towards the end of the race. A lot of machines crashing out, a lot of riders saying, right-hand side, and what is it, second right, leans it over. He was a bit wide. I've got to say, he was wide. So maybe, you know, like forcing that tyre in. But yeah, temperature right now, but also sunstrike, Matt. Whenever I've ridden here this time of day in the winter, you know, over the winter, you get really bad sunstrike.
Yeah, we know that Brad's hugely popular. His mechanics absolutely love him. They'll take a bullet for him, some of them, but they're not going to be happy with that one. 6.5 minutes of the year remaining, and there's a crashed motorcycle coming back.
Prior to that, but we'll see the test riders and our sole MotoGP rookie, Pedro Acosta, out on circuit. As always, MotoGP.com will have full coverage of the testing programme. If you are actually not a subscriber to the Video Pass, make sure you are, because there's a special offer. Cyber Monday still available. You can get the Video Pass for the winter testing program to follow all of the coverage across Sepang and indeed the Qatar test in February before the season gets underway under the lights at Losail on March the 10th, 2024 for more MotoGP than ever. And that's what we said at the start of this season, with 21, which became 20 races, 22 scheduled for next season, and today has certainly whetted the appetite for that.
Yeah, 44 events, or 44 races next year. You don't have to actually wait for as long as March 10th, because March the 9th will be the TSO Sprint. What an introduction, what a great new era that has been for MotoGP. Certainly brought more fans through the gates. You think of the incredible atmospheres we had at the Saxon Ring, Le Mans, with a record crowd on race day. The checkered flag then is out. That is the end of 2023 officially, and the end of the start of 2024 in many respects. Pedro Acosta's in his leathers because KTM and Gasgas are going to be very keen to get him out there for this 15-minute practice start session. For the first time, he's grabbed a handful of throttle off the line and trying to put 300 horsepower through a Michelin rear tyre. Is that Mika Kallio? Yeah, it is indeed, with the back to screens. Of course, he did so much of the early testing work on the KTM RC16, and still very much an important part of the KTM system. He's on site for a lot of races as the KTM riding coach.